poems, and I've loads of them. Oh, but just for my own pleasure, you know, because now then, that's it. And it says, it's a big, you know, it's a lot. Well, it says, many years ago, in my younger days, things were very different in so many ways. Everyone affected by scarcity of wealth, by that I mean the working class trying to keep their health. To buy the food we needed was hard work, there's no doubt. Lots of families suffered and had to do without. Tried all ways to raise the cash, legal may I add. Selling drugs and thieving would have been quite mad. When asking for some help from the old means test, a questionnaire was what you got and told to sell your best. Luxuries you couldn't keep, such as a radio, a sewing machine or instruments, they would have to go. Anything you treasured of value, if they knew, would make it difficult to claim. They'd say that you weren't you. Pawn shops did a roaring trade, all sorts honest ledgers, but if the interest wasn't paid, were classed as forfeit pledges. Little shops making soup and hash sold a dishful for a penny. Some unfortunates had no cash and they didn't get any. Men tramped round to look for work, all to no avail. Came home feeling down and out, once again they'd failed. In spite of all the hardships, we managed to survive. We helped one another and we're glad to be alive. But we went about in safety, of mugging didn't hear. Left our doors unlocked and open, didn't have to fear. Youngsters had to show respect for people's goods and feelings. One policeman seemed to be enough to stop any dirty dealings. Times have changed so very much, of that there is no doubt. When old folks say they're glad to be on their way out. If only we could combine aspects from then and now. To live in peace without a care would really be a wow. It's only wishful thinking, but one never knows. People could just realise there's only one right road.
That's brilliant.
So,
wow.
You know, and I used to sit here and do things. There we come into this world alone, you know. I'd done hundreds of them, just sitting,
Brilliant.
thinking, you know, it's just something to do it was, you know.
Talent.
So, but it was true that, you know, about the money. And I always remember a little boy lived next door to us, and food was so, anybody with a big family, they were hard put to with money. And he come into our house one morning and he sat on the chair, and he was only about 6, and he said to me, "You don't know what I've had for my breakfast this morning." And we said, "What have you had?" He said, "A whole egg." You only used to have half an egg. When there was lots of them, you had to have an egg between them. You know, things like that. And there was a lady that used to have a shop, Mrs. Jones, and you could take a penny and a dish, and she'd give you a pennyworth of pea soup or a pennyworth of hash. You know, things like that. And I know you could go in a greengrocer's and you could get a pennyworth of pot herbs, which was like a bit of carrot and onion and all that. And you could get potatoes for twopence halfpenny, £5, and 6 pennyworth of stew meat, you know, and make a lovely meal of it. Because I remember my mother one morning, she said to me, "I don't know what I'm going to do for the tea tonight, because your dad doesn't get his dole while tomorrow." It was all on dole, all the way through. And I'm going to school and I'm looking on the floor and I found a shilling. And I run all the way back home with that shilling and I said, "Mum, look what I've found." She said, "Oh, calling Egypt." As much as to say, Eureka, you know. She made a lovely meal with that shilling.
I bet she did.
Yes, meat and potato pie and an apple pie. You know, you could make such a lot with very little, but you just didn't always get the money, you see.
And you could use